Hello, welcome to the Manic Pixie Dream Vlog. I'm your host, Caroline Georges, and welcome. So I wanted to talk about setting boundaries and entitlement today. So I just want to come clear and just, be open about this. I've had a come to Jesus moment about something in my life that I think my attitude needs to change about something. And there's something that my attitude needs to change about, and I just wanted to talk about that and get into that a little bit. And I've talked about how I need to start being more grateful in my life, and I need to start practicing gratitude. And since I've been doing that, something has come to mind that I need to start being grateful to men. I need to eat a slice of humble pie and start being grateful to men. Because whether I like it or not, everything I own, everything, the clothes on my back, the money in my bank, everything that I have has been provided for by men. And men are my patrons, men are my benefactors, all my furniture has been bought for by my ex-boyfriend. The clothes I'm wearing, when I go shopping, it's because guys bought lap dances and I did really well that week and they spent a lot of money and I have extra money to use to go shopping and stuff, and I'm not grateful. And that's bullshit. And I should be grateful. And I can afford my lifestyle because of men. And that's something I haven't been grateful for, and I'm going to start being grateful for it right now. And I built myself up on I'm taking, and I've empowered myself on I'm taking, and I'm taking back what's mine. And this is such a hard thing for me because I mean, as much as I've talked about it, I really feel like there's just been so much injustice in my life, and I'm so angry. No one's going to jail. No one got arrested, and it's just like, what do I do? I really wish somebody could just explain it to me and just explain it in such a way that makes sense, that I wake up to it, that I could just understand, like, why did bad things happen to me and why did they get away with it? Am I a bad person? It makes me feel like I'm a bad person and like I had to have deserved it somehow. And by becoming a villain, or becoming the kind of person that I am when I'm at work, it liberated me and it vindicated me and it felt like I got some kind of justice by hating men. And I don't want anyone to think that I hated all my clients. I don't. Some of them are really nice people, but the other ones that are jerks, I love taking their money. And I love that I get it by playing dirty, It makes me feel like I win, And and that's kind of sad. That's sort of sad. That's really just a very sad, sad thing. And and I've been thinking more and more about that app. I think an app would be a really great way for women to stay educated on ways they can protect themselves. Because if you're learning how to advocate for other women, you're learning how to advocate for yourself. And I think an app that networks women together, so when something happens or something occurs, there's somebody right there ready to talk to them with no police involvement. And then there's like a record of what has been said over text or a recording or something like that. So that way, if a girl does want to come forward, she has a recording of something that happened right when it happens, and she has a conversation with somebody that she's spoken to about the abuse, so that way it's all very clear. And I think that a lot more people will go to jail if something like that were available to women. I just want to see people go to jail. I'm not putting anybody in jail. I'm just putting myself in jail by what I'm doing. And my goal in life is to make sure people go to jail. And because, but it just doesn't seem like anybody does. I've been thinking about recently, I was talking to a friend, and he's been watching my vlogs, and he told me, he said, look, I hate to say this, and I'm sorry to be this person, but you need to take down the vlogs where you mentioned your sexual assailant. You need to take those down. And we discussed it, and his reason is because I have no evidence, because of how the laws work, and because of how what's happened in the past is he can counter sue me. He can sue me for defamation, or he can sue me for slander. And I didn't realize that. I knew it was a risk I was taking of him denying it, and of my credibility being questioned. And, and I was fine with that, and I understood that. But I think this guy's a piece of shit, and I don't put it past him to do something like that. And, that was my dirty trick to get him back. That was all I had. That was all I can do. And I'm going to have to take that video down. You know what? He can come and get me. He can send me a cease and desist if he wants, and then I'll take it down. So I'm not going to, but, yeah, he can come and get me. I don't fucking care. He did what he did. He knows what he did. I dare him. I dare that piece of shit. Anyways, I just, I think my attitude towards men has only served to attract bad men towards me, because, you know what? I got what I wanted. I love being right. I love being proven right. Who doesn't? You know what I mean? Men are proving me right all the time because I'm looking for it, So men will prove me right. If that's what I want, if that's what I want to see, then men will prove me right. And, I need to leave stripping. I know I do. It's so vital and important at this point in my life that I leave stripping. And I know I'm going to wake up one day and I'm just going to snap out of it. I'm going to wake up and it's just going to happen. I'm going to blink my eyes open and be like, oh my God, no more. I know it's going to happen. I just, again, I would just love it if somebody could just explain it to me in some way that makes sense. I would love if just somebody could say the magic words, you know what I mean, where I can just sort of snap out of this, but it doesn't work like that. It's waiting for something that's not going to happen. But it's weird. Speaking of getting what you want, I got what I wanted out of life. I chose it. I chose this. And I grew up watching Breakfast at Tiffany's, and I always really loved the character in that, Holly Golightly. And I thought she was just the perfect woman. I thought she had it all figured out. I thought if that's how she can live, if she can live with men supporting her, and she's, just so beautiful and perfect and unique and stunning and whatever, to have men supporting her, then, and she doesn't have to do anything else but just let men support her, then she's really got it made and she really is special. Everything I own, everything, it's been paid for by men. It has been bought and paid for by men. I got what I wanted. And so all I can do now is just be grateful. I have to be grateful to my benefactors. I have to be grateful to my patrons. I have to be grateful to my clients that they have provided me with my life and that I owe this all to them. And I just don't know, like, what's it going to be like when I leave stripping? Where am I going to... I still don't know what I'm going to do with all this anger. You know, I'm on a mission. I have to change first, but I'm on a mission to make the world a better place for women. And that's what gives me strength, and that's what keeps me going. Just being able to relate to women, and that connection that I have to women has always been very real and has never faltered. And you know, my favorite Disney movie is Sleeping Beauty, and I always thought it perfectly encapsulated a feminist message in such a beautiful way. And because it really bothers me, because people think that Sleeping Beauty, the original Sleeping Beauty, it wasn't feminist. People think that it wasn't feminist because the Disney princess in it only had like 16 lines or something in it. But she was a secondary character. The story was about the three good fairies, you know? And sometimes in life, I see women as being the three good fairies in my life, where I get to be the princess. And sometimes in my life, I had to be one of the three good fairies and help a Sleeping Beauty. You know what I mean? That's always been what feminism feels like to me, and what connecting with women feels like to me. And so that's why I think Sleeping Beauty's always been my favorite, because I think it's a great message for women that we have to be the three good fairies and take charge and save the day, you know, and help men and be there for men. And I think that's a huge part of feminism, is being there for men and being an ally for men, you know. And I believe I can change. I believe everything in my life that I need to change can be changed. And I have to give men that. I have to give men that. I have to let men change, and I have to let men. I have to let men change, and because everyone can change, everyone can get better, and all of my abusers, I don't know what to do with my anger and my resentment and my just rage towards them. I don't know what to do. And I'm choosing not to date. That's all I really can do right now, is just reserve myself from that and just not partake in dating. I think that's kind of how I've been paying penance, honestly, if I can be honest. I want to save myself and what's left of me for someone special. And recently, like, I met a guy, and he's really cute, and and I think he likes me. And I was just thinking, like, I should just sleep with him. I should just fuck him, you know? I should just have a one-time thing with him and just go for it and just fuck him, you know? And then just tell him that I just want a one-time thing or something, you know? And then I just thought about it, and it's just like, it'll be bad. I know it'll be bad. I know it. It'll be bad. Sex has just become something that is just, if it's not on a pedestal, if it's not what I visualize on the pedestal, then I don't want it. You know? I don't want it. And, you know, working where I work, sex has just been degraded into the ground as just being something that's dirty and filthy, and it's like a bodily function. It's like going to the bathroom, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, like, people have that attitude towards sex, and I just think, like, ugh, why, you know? But that's what stripping is, you know what I mean? It's like you're treating sex like it's a bodily function, you know what I mean? You're treating sexuality like it can be manufactured, you know, and that you can't. It's a spiritual thing. It's a fully spiritual practice. And if you're not treating it like that, then it's not special and it's not good. You know what I mean? And so I just, it's what I want. I'm going after what I want. I want something special. I want the sex that comes from love and commitment, you know, because the sex that comes from just something that's casual is just not going to be good. And I think I realized that the last time I had sex, it wasn't good. It was awful. And I think that's because I didn't love him, and I wasn't that into him, and you know, I want something really special. And I'm kind of embarrassed. Like, honestly, like, I'm embarrassed. Like, I mean, it's just like culture we live in, you know, that doesn't value abstinence. Like, I just don't understand. There's so much pressure to just be a big slut these days, you know, not like, I mean, I can say slut. It's okay for me to say slut because I'm a fucking stripper. You know what I mean? So it's okay for me to say slut. Like, I'm sorry. It's just, I get an allowance in that direction. Because you have to be kind of a slut to be a stripper. That's just, goes hand in hand. So, but like, you know, like, you have to be super promiscuous and super out there with your sexuality in order to be taken seriously or in order to be empowered. And I just don't think that's true. I feel so much more empowered being attracted to someone and being interested in sleeping with someone, but knowing it's not really what I want and saying no to it than saying yes to it and it being okay and just forgetting about it later, you know? I really believe in soulmates. I think that people can be compatible and just, you know, get along and have a really healthy relationship and a healthy marriage that way. And I think that that's totally possible. And maybe that's soulmates in a way, but I really believe that there's somebody really special out there for me that I'm, you know, and I just, I believe that. And I just believe that I'm going to meet somebody who really understands me and really just sees through all my bullshit and just can handle my bullshit, you know. Maybe that's asking a lot of someone, though. So I just, but honestly, I'm not dating, not just to protect myself and not just for my own self-preservation, but just right now, I just, like, God forbid I date somebody and he's abusive, but God forbid I date somebody and he's a nice guy and I just fuck with him, you know. What if I do that? You have to know yourself. You have to know yourself, and just, I think that's important. I think that's about being a good person. It's just knowing yourself and choosing to abstain because you don't want to hurt the people around you. And I think that I'm probably a really toxic person to go out with at this point in my life, and so I just think that I should abstain, not just for myself, but because I love and care about men. But I just, I know, like, it's been beaten to death, but you know what? It bears discussion. It was a huge deal when it happened, and and it's kind of a very special event in the Me Too movement, so I just think it bears discussion, especially because he's having a comeback, which is well-deserved and well-timed, and I think it's great for him. And also, I don't want there to be any confusion. I feel like I speak hyperbolically or fascistically when discussing really important subjects like rape and stuff. And it is my goal to make a farce of rape. And that is my ambition with this, is to make rape fun and exciting and worth talking about and easy to talk about. And I want rape to be a farce. That's where I feel comfortable. That's how I feel safe. And I think a lot of women would feel the same way. And that's the reason why I'm doing these vlogs and why I speak the way I do about rape. But when speaking about Aziz Ansari, I don't think he did anything wrong. And I think bad sex and bad sexual experiences are the fucking worst. And that is the reason why I'm abstinent. I am not fucking anyone because of bad sexual experiences. I'm not fucking any of y'all. None of you. I will not, because of bad sex. Okay? That is how low I think of bad sex. But it's just like, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. If you're uncomfortable, it's not worth it. It's just, that's the thing. Women don't trust their gut. Women that don't trust themselves. And they mollify the situation. And I've done it. I'm scolding myself. I'm not scolding just women. I'm scolding myself. I wish somebody looked me in the eye and just grabbed me by the shoulders and just screamed in my face, Caroline, God damn it. I wish somebody did that. So I'm just going to say this. Trust your fucking gut. If you are uncomfortable, leave. You got what you wanted. If you were uncomfortable and you didn't leave and you became more and more uncomfortable, you got what you fucking wanted. What else could you have wanted to happen? I think that's very important, that women trust their fucking guts and respect themselves enough and love themselves enough to leave when they are uncomfortable. But at the same time, women don't always love themselves enough to do that. And I think men have some responsibility to care about a woman's feelings. And I think Aziz Ansari had some responsibility to this woman to care about her feelings. And I don't think he did that. And I think boo on him for that. I think everyone can agree. But, is it my responsibility to not accept money and gifts from a man who really likes me and really wants me to be his girlfriend? Is that my responsibility? If a man wants to hook up and a girl is there and a girl is staying, is it his responsibility to end things and to put an end to the night? Is that the man's responsibility? The second that girl came out and said that she wanted to slow things down, should that man have said, I'm getting a little tired, maybe we should call it a night, and called her an Uber and sent her home? Was that his responsibility to do that? What is our responsibility in these situations? I think the best we can do is to just put ourselves second always on dates. I think one thing, not second, but I think when you're on a date, make your date the number one person in the world. Make their comfort and their pleasure your number one priority, And just trust that they'll do the same for you. And no matter what you do, no matter who you are, you'll always be on a good date, if you do that. I really believe that. I wanted to share a story about a girl who was pressured into being somebody's girlfriend in a really weird way. Okay, so this happened. I had a roommate in college, right? And she had a male friend who really liked her. He had a big crush on her. And she was like this really goody two-shoes church girl, and so she met this boy at church, and they were friends at church. And she would bring him around, and he was fine. He was like this little dork, and she was, beautiful and she was clearly very much out of his league. But he really liked her, and he always told her how much he liked her. And she was just like, no, we're just friends. Stop it. We're just friends. And that was just kind of her attitude towards it and stuff. And he just put up with it, you know what I mean? Because he really believed that they were meant to be together. And so this is what he would always say. He said that God had a plan for them, and that God's plan was that they were meant to be married. And I always just thought, what the fuck? You're really, you're using God to, manipulate a woman into going out with you? You're literally sinking so low to become a fucking heretic to get a woman to go out with you? You fucking loser, And, but, I don't know how to describe it, but something about that was another level sinister to me. Even just, there's something about that I just can't put my finger on. That's really fucked up that he was doing that, It's so manipulative. But you're they're using God and God's will, which no one can know. You know what I mean? No one has any idea of. That is for God to know. That is God's plan. You know what I mean? That's why I call it God's plan. It's not our plan, it's God's plan, And We cannot know God's plan for us. We can't ever know. And so this boy saying and deciding that it was God's plan that this girl he wanted to fuck was his fucking future wife, and telling her that, and trying to pressure her to go out with him, using the leverage he had with his friendship with her to do that, was just so fucked up. And you know what? He got away with it too. I ended up fucking him. She ended up going out with him for like 2 months. And it was just like the entire time. It was just like what the fuck are you doing? Girl, what the fuck are you doing? You hate this guy. You can't stand this guy. I mean, he annoys you. He's a dork. You're not attracted to him. Why are you fucking him? And it was crazy to me. And so one week I was at church, and yes, I go to church, and everyone can breathe a sigh of relief for that. I am at church, and that really helps me. I get a lot of clarity going there. I went this week, and I had an epiphany that I needed to be grateful for men, so thank God for church. And but anyways, I was at church one week, and I was in the women's room, and I left the women's room, and there was this guy out there standing there waiting for me. And he was like, "Excuse me, miss." And I was like, "Yes." And he said, "The voice of God told me that you're my future wife." And I about ripped this guy a new asshole. Like, I was so pissed. And it was like, you know why? I wasn't pissed at him. He was just this weirdo, you know what I mean? Who waits outside women's restrooms waiting for women to tell them that the voice of God told him that they were going to be his future wife. Like, you know, who does that? And so that was this idiot, you know? I wasn't mad at him. You know what I mean? It was just like, I could have just been like, okay, loser, bye, you know what I mean, and left. But I really let him have it. I really ripped him a new asshole. Because you know what? I wasn't talking to him. I was talking to my roommate's boyfriend who manipulated her. You know, I was talking to him. And I needed to talk to him. And I needed to express that to him. And I did it at this guy and not at the right person. You know? And I think every bad experience carries on, and you start talking to people like you want to talk to the people that you didn't get a chance to talk to. So maybe it was good that Grace vented out her and expressed her anger towards Aziz Ansari in that situation. Maybe it was good, and maybe it's our fault. Maybe we took it too far. You know what I mean? Maybe it's our fault that we took it too seriously. And we should have just immediately dismissed it as a bad date and let this man continue with his life instead of ruining it for a few months, you know, or whatever happened. Sorry. But, you know, the thing is, I think it was good that she let it out somehow, you know, because now she's not going to be talking to another guy like he's Aziz Ansari. She vented out her frustration with Aziz Ansari, which was fair. What she said was fair. I mean, it wasn't sexual misconduct, but what she said was fair, and being hurt by his behavior and being, you know, disturbed by it, I think was fair, you know, fair enough. So she vented that out, you know. And so I was on a date with a guy once, and this was when I was on Tinder, and this guy said, you know, the last girl I went out with, she was really crazy. I noticed, like, her breasts so, like, he said, like, I noticed her cleavage, right? And then she freaked out at me and, like, and stormed off and screamed at me and called me an asshole or something like that. And I was just like, I don't know what happened to that woman, but a lot happened to that woman, you know? And this guy just got in her way, you know? And I think it's important for people to love others as they love themselves. I think that's the cure. I think it's just love. I think if you're coming to somebody from a place of love, you're not going to find yourself in a situation where, I mean, no, that's not right. But I think if you're on a date with somebody and you choose to care about them and choose to care about their feelings, I think that things will go a lot better. You know what I mean? And I think that everybody, like, sex and dating and love is bumper cars, and I think people just really need to be fucking careful. You know? Everyone just needs to be really fucking careful and just protect each other's boundaries and stuff. Yeah. Anyways, Sorry, this was just, I hope this was all coherent. I just wanted to, express my thoughts and feelings this week and just some thought discoveries I've had. I know, they're really great, huh? Okay, well, anyways, thank you so much for watching and have a lovely day. Like and subscribe. Bye.